This is probably the worst I've felt going into a game as a Leafs fan in the last 10 years. I get that nervous, queasy feeling going into game sevens or playoff games or whatever, but there's always that thought in the back of my mind, they can win this. And then it gets ripped away, and I get proven time and time again, well, your initial gut instinct was actually probably right. You were worried they wouldn't win because they hadn't proven anything in the past, so why would they win this time? And I think where I'm at right now as a Leafs fan is kind of a culmination of what has taken place over the last 9 years with this group, going into game 53 of the regular season in year 10, facing the Buffalo Sabres tonight, where it just feels like the inevitable is going to happen and there's no way to avoid it. There's no hyping myself up and telling myself that this could go some other way. Things could be different here tonight. No, maybe this is the one they will win. They will get through. They will figure things out. Because why would they do that? They haven't done it when it mattered more than anything in the world in playoff games and in game sevens and comeback situations. They haven't done it before. So why now, when the season is on the line, after 9 years of learning, as we've called it over and over and over again, why now would things change? And I know that that's kind of bleak and, philosophical, I guess, to come here ahead of game 53 in my game preview and take that approach. But for some reason today, more than any day, the life has been sucked out of me by this team. And I think some of it has to do with coaching decisions. Some of it has to do with answers in the media. Some of it has to do with the fact that you've now lost, I believe it's 6 of your last 7, an opportunity to lose 7 of your last 8. You've lost 4 in a row, 4 of which have all come at home, a homestand of which we thought, hey, maybe 3 of 5. Maybe you could even sneak out 4 of 5 with the concern, hey, Colorado will come in here seeking some revenge against you on that Sunday afternoon game. And a game, you usually don't really have your best efforts in because it is that Sunday afternoon game. When do the Leafs play Sundays anyways? And then the afternoon games, it's not like that's been their best performances ever. So it's like, okay, yeah, maybe let's go 4 for 5. It's kind of just fallen off a cliff. And the attitude we all worried that they've had for 9 years, like coaching decisions, management decisions aside, the attitude that we've thought that they've had for 9 years, where everything is always just another game, finally got said out loud when it was actually more than just another game, maybe more than ever for this fan base. You played against a player in his homecoming who a lot of fans in this city feel spited about his time here and the way he left. I don't want to rehash that whole thing here in today's game preview, but looking at it from the Leafs side of things, the players on this team said it's just another game. The players on the Vegas Golden Knights took the exact opposite approach. This game means something. This game means more. We want to win it for him. So then the players on the Leafs side said that. And then MLSE sold Mitch Marner autographed Vegas Golden Knights jerseys in their concourse before the game. And then the coach started a goaltender who hadn't played in 2 months. And then we find out that the goaltender actually overruled everybody. It wasn't a tree living decision. It wasn't a Berube decision. It was Anthony Stolarz who said, I'm going to play. I'm not going to the AHL. I'm ready to go. I'm going to play. I don't even know how it happens that Craig Berube and Brad Treliving can get steamrolled like that and just have a guy step up and push you over and say, I'm going to play. While on one hand, I do appreciate the attitude from the guy of saying, I'm ready to go. I want the net. This is my game. That's great to have. It's great to have the mindset of grab it by the balls and get the fuck in there and let's go win this one. But it's a super important game, and you can't have a goaltender who hasn't played very well this season and missed 2 months with an injury and hasn't seen game action just jump in the net and take it and risk getting off to a slow start, which is exactly what happened. All of that is just on Friday. The coach then talks about we need to be ready to go from the jump. We need to start on time because we didn't against Vegas, which again is a problem for 9.5 years now, into year 10 of this group. A problem that Mike Babcock said over and over and over again was taking place here with this team. We all got tired of it. We said, enough. Enough of start on time. Enough of long-rangey sticks. Enough of 6 foot every day of the week. Who the fuck cares? Well, 9.5 years later, same shit. Cannot start on time. But Craig Berube makes a point of it. We need to start on time. And then he gives the boys Saturday off. Don't worry about practice. Snow's here. It's cold outside. You just stunk the joint out against Vegas, but you push back. So take Saturday off and be ready to go on Sunday. And how does the team reward them in the one opportunity you have to kind of bounce back and make this homestand not as shitty as it's been? They lay an egg against the Colorado Avalanche. And while that is happening, their star winger is flipping the bird to the camera. While that's all blown out of proportion in terms of like what it actually means for the NHL, and the fact that he got a fine, I think, is a complete and utter fucking joke. But the fact that all aside, it's just an encapsulation of what's happened this season and what has happened with this team and this fan base. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but the fan base is begging for some life, some emotion, some fight, some pushback, anything to get them loud, to get them cheering, to get behind you. And for 9 years, we've basically said the team has flipped us the bird. On Sunday afternoon, William Nylander turned it from a metaphor to a literal. He actually flipped us the bird. And now, I don't think he meant it at the fans. I think he meant it at the camera. But regardless, Leafs fans sitting on their couch watching the team drop their 4th straight at home in yet another abysmal performance in a loss to the Colorado Avalanche saw the image of William Nylander late in that game while you're down and out, giving the finger. And I'm sure everyone in Toronto and everyone who has cheered for and supported this team looked at that and said, fuck you too. I don't have faith in this team tonight. I don't have faith in this team turning this around. If they do, I will be pleasantly surprised. But I just don't. I don't feel good about the decisions. I don't feel good about the coach. I don't feel good about the approach of the GM. I don't feel good about the character in the room. I don't feel good about the goaltending you're getting right now. I don't feel good about any of it. It's a concerning feeling when you're facing a team that a win tonight could actually really drastically overhaul what your future could be if you beat the Sabres and you beat them in reg and you can get a 4-point swing, considering you play them one more time, considering you play the Boston Bruins again. This could really, really matter. And that exact reason is why I just don't believe in this group. It matters. So why would they show up? They never have before. That's a long monologue to say, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think they'll do it. Let's get into what we have for tonight's lineups, courtesy of Daily Faceoff, before we get into the best bet. I just wanted to kind of set the stage for tonight's game and my personal opinion on the team and how this game will go before I get into this, because a lot of people are probably going to walk away from this video if I didn't say that and say, wow, you're down on this team. You're really looking at this from a doom and gloom perspective. You don't have positivity. You don't have faith. Honestly, I don't. And I wanted to make sure that I got that out there and cleared the air. Yes, I come on here And I'm lucky enough to be part of this channel, and I'm lucky enough to do the media side of things and be considered to be part of the media. But at the end of the day, I started doing what I was doing in the pregame videos and the postgame videos and the postgame live shows because I'm a fan. And I have genuine, real reactions after things. I feel emotions like a roller coaster with this team. And right now, I am in the darkest of the dark when looking at what the future holds for this group, which is insane considering 2 weeks ago, they came off a win against the Colorado Avalanche, and I sat here thinking, if this is even half of who they are, they're a legitimate, good hockey team that will make the playoffs. And 2 weeks later, they've just abandoned that because they either decided, hey, we showed it, that's it. We're the Toronto Maple Leafs again, and we can cakewalk through life. Or they're just actually not that good. And either way, as of right now, I think the mindset or the construction or the approach, whatever you want to deem it as, it's not good enough, and it's going to miss the playoffs. Sucks, because I think they have enough talent in the room. But I think everybody involved in this one has a hand in making this thing absolutely curdle. Let's get to tonight's lineup and talk a little bit more about that curdling that has taken place. And let's start with what you've got for your first line. Bobby McMann, Auston Matthews, Max Domi remain together. I have no problem with Bobby McMann, and I think Auston Matthews has been very, very good, especially over the last month and a bit here of hockey. Production aside, just the way he's playing, the way he's carrying and driving a line, he's looked really good. He's looked very, very dangerous. Not being able to score on the power play is obviously hurting him a little bit right now, but you're looking at a guy who is struggling a little bit here over the last stretch when they go up against elite talent, and he's line matched against elite talent on the other side. And I keep seeing it, and I couldn't find anything to justify it underlying about why things are struggling for the guy. I don't think Bobby McMann is a problem. I think you just have to find the right piece that can fit on the other side. And then I saw this tweet from Corsi HL, and I wanted to bring it to people's attention because I think this is an astonishing stat here that should explain why this line, and Auston Matthews in particular, is having to do even heavier lifting than he would already naturally have to do if he's playing with Max Domi and Bobby McMann, because he was making it work for a while when it came to him, McMann, and Domi, but eventually true colors start to show, and a guy like Max Domi, as you can see here in this tweet, will start to bring you down. Here are the stats according to Corsi HL. 5-on-5 with 300 to 400 minutes per sample. Matthews and Domi together. 16 goals for, 18 goals against. So not even that great. -2 differential. Matthews and Domi together. Matthews without Domi. 21 goals for, 14 goals against. Positive differential. 7 +7 difference for Matthews without Domi. Domi without Matthews. 8 goals for, 23 goals against. So let me repeat that. Matthews and Domi together. -2. 16 goals for, 18 goals against. Domi without Matthews. 18 goals for, 23 goals against. Not pretty. Matthews without Domi. +7. 21 goals for, 14 goals against. I kept looking at it and kept seeing it and saying these guys get caved. You play against good opponents, you play against tough first lines, you play against tough defensive matchups, and all of a sudden the offense slows down a little bit. You see some significant mistakes from one guy in particular, more so than anybody else that they're on the ice with, and then you see them get their shit pumped when they're in their own zone. Max Domi cannot play in a top six. He cannot play alongside Auston Matthews over a long period of time, and he should not be on Matthews' wing if this team wants anything positive to happen in terms of a push towards the playoffs. And yet, here you go, keeping them together. I don't know if it's just stubbornness. I don't know if it's loyalty to friends. I don't know what the fuck is going on in that room. But to keep Max Domi and Auston Matthews together, despite all the numbers that we're seeing that go against those two playing as a pair, and then also what you see eye test wise, like this isn't just an analytics shit thing. This is just watching them. They struggle together right now. Max Domi can't string passes together. He can't play against top-end defensive talent. He can't play on the defensive side of the puck against top-end offensive talent. He just doesn't have it. You are sewering Auston Matthews by putting these guys out there with him. You are sewering Auston Matthews by playing him with Max Domi. And yet, there he is again. Line 2, Matias Maccelli, John Tavares, Matthew Knies. Took no time at all for you to change things up. Scott Laughton, top 6. Scott Laughton, fourth line center. No problem there. Nope, like, whatever. Okay, Maccelli, I think, has looked good. It's just, for me, the second line has been just kind of okay, not great for a little while. I think part of that is Matthew Knies is injured, and he's dying to get to the Olympic break. But regardless, There you go. Matthew Knies, Maccelli, and JT. Back to your second line. Scott Laughton, who's been playing really well, and everyone is looking at being like, dude, give this guy more minutes. You also paid a lot to get him. Why not play him? Why not give him chances? And then he goes out there and he's able to contribute and still scoring goals for you. Even in a slower offensive season for you, he's still at least managing to find the back of the net when everything has looked bleak over the last little while. It's like one small bright spot amongst all of this. And there you go. Scott Laughton back to the fourth line. This is a corresponding move with the fact that Jacob Quillen, which is my other gripe with tonight, comes out of the lineup. What is one thing that this team has been struggling with over the last while? And for this entire season, as a matter of fact. Speed. And speed is not the entire game. Not having the most speed isn't like the be-all, end-all as long as you play the right way and you utilize your construction to your advantage. And what I mean by that is, okay, you're bigger, you're heavier, clog the neutral zones, make life hard on teams to transition through you. Make it like the other team is playing in mud, much like what the Florida Panthers do. But the personnel you have here doesn't seem to have an interest in playing that way. Craig Berube can't get that through to them. He has a lack of willingness to adjust to it. So rather than meeting in the middle here and finding a way to mix some fresh, young speed into the lineup with some of the heavier, slower guys that this team has, Craig Berube is just, nope, don't trust them. 6 minutes against Colorado for Jacob Quillen. 6 fucking minutes. The guy's playing really well in the AHL. He didn't look out of place in the minutes he played at all, which is pretty impressive considering they were playing the Colorado Avalanche, and yet he can't go out there. So Calle Jarnkrok, back into your lineup here tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. Season on the line, and Calle Jarnkrok back into the lineup to play fourth line right wing. No disrespect to Calle Jarnkrok, but he does fucking nothing. Nothing. He is a guy who skates on the ice. He's a guy who just goes out there. He brings nothing offensively, plays die on his stick. He's fine defensively. That's it. He just skates. He's out there. He exists on the ice. He's not a guy who's not good enough for the NHL, but he's a guy who does nothing positively. So why in the flying fuck are you burying a kid who's got speed, a kid who hits forechecks, a kid who's got offensive upside, is playing well in the AHL? Why can the kid not get a fucking chance? How is that the case? How can you realistically look at this lineup and be like, Calle Jarnkrok's the one who's getting us the win against Buffalo tonight? Are you out of your fucking minds? No willingness to change, no willingness to adjust. You tried one game with the lineup you had against Colorado where you moved things around a whole bunch. I mean, I think that's more of a product of these guys just coming out flat-footed, not giving a fuck, and not in terms of lineup construction that you had there. And yet, bang, back to what you had before because you were right before. Because that 3-game skid you had before you went into that one and the couple of off games you had of this lineup being together before that were so perfect. How can the kid not get a chance? Nope. Calle Järnkrok back in. Scott Laughton back to the fourth line. Are we this fucking dense right now? Unbelievable shit going on to construct this lineup. Continues down to your defensive pairings. Jake McCabe, OEL, first pair, whatever. Morgan Rielly, Brandon Carlo. I mean, Morgan Rielly is just like, we're at the end of the line here with this guy. I am at the point of I feel bad for Brandon Carlo. Like, I think if this guy had a legitimate partner beside him, he would look significantly better than he does. Won't get it. Simone Benoit, Troy Stetcher as your third pair, whatever. Obviously, we know Chris Tanev is in here, but like, okay, Thrun looked good when he played here. He didn't look out of place to me. He looked like he could move. He could get up ice. We've talked about him being able to play both sides of the ice. He could play left. He could play right. He could kind of be a utility guy and fit in here. Nope, no interest. Don't play. Simone Benoit, Stetcher, Rielly, Carlo, Jake McCabe, OEL, you play. Like, honestly, it's not even me having a problem with Benoit or Stetcher or Carlo or McCabe or OEL at this point. Morgan Rielly has fucking stunk. I don't know why he can't get a press box game for himself where he just has to sit out and look on from the outside looking in and just sit there and realize the bullshit he's been doing on the ice where you could bring somebody else in who's not named Philippe Myers because he's not fucking really an NHL player. But Morgan Rielly still into the lineup, no problem. Okay, whatever. At bare minimum, like, try something new. And yet, no, reluctance. Thrun can't get in. William Villeneuve, who is going to be like one of the longest tenured Toronto Marlies in the fucking history of the program at this point, who has some offensive upside, can get up and down the ice, can move the puck well. All things that we've talked about this team needs to add or needs help with. Nope, he can't play. Holy shit. Unfucking believable. Give guys a try. Like, when things go this sideways, why can't you try things? Why can't we get creative? Why can't we give kids a shot? Pathetic. And then the final thing for me in all of this that just makes zero sense at all, is how Anthony Stolarz forces his way into a game on Friday night. I don't even get how that happens in the first place because guess what, coach? If you don't want him to play, he doesn't play. That's the one part. The second part is if you want the guy to go to the AHL and go on a conditioning loan and play games in the AHL, you send him there. What is he going to do? It's a conditioning loan. He hasn't played in 2 months. He's going to exercise the NHLPA. He's going to bring that out on you. He hasn't played in 2 months. It is asinine to even suggest that this guy could just overrule coach and GM to get himself into a game. Makes no sense. Okay, whatever. Let's move past that. That happens, which doesn't even make sense in the first place, but now you can't play him in these 2 games? He plays Friday, has a shaky one, like we all thought. That game's not his fault. It's Berube for putting him in, but he did have a shaky game to start. Then you start Joseph Woll on Sunday against Colorado, and now you start Joseph Woll tonight? Like, I get it to the extent that if you expect to come back in this season and you want anything positive to happen, right now Joseph Woll is your guy. Like, he's going to be the only hope that you have. But how? Like, think logically. How can Stolarz force his way into Friday's game and then he's not going to play Sunday, but he's also not going to play Tuesday? He's going to have a week in between games. Like, where is the thinking going on with these guys? Where is it? Pathetic shit right now from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Those are your goaltenders and your lineup combos for tonight's game. This has been a frustrating game preview. I didn't think it was going to get this bad, but holy fuck, it's bad. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen goes on the other side for the Buffalo Sabres tonight against the Maple Leafs. Let's now get to our best bet segment. Our best bet is a presentation of Bet365. Use promo code NATION, Nation. code NATION, NATION. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connectsontario.ca. Remember, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Best bets have been bad this year, and I think part of it is when things go sideways, I bet on the Maple Leafs. I bet on them like not knowing the things are going sideways, but now I'm going to try to get out ahead of this one. So we're down 2 units here, and this has come over the last skid that the Leafs have been on, starting against Winnipeg. We lost that one, but then it goes to Minnesota. We've lost since then. So 5 straight losses for us here on the postgame. That brings us down now 2 units on the season. It's been a real roller coaster of best bets on the pregame show. Let's get to tonight's, because I want to swing this in the right direction. So rather than being a moron and betting on this team that just doesn't seem to care as much as the fans do, let's finally go and do something logical. And with that, let's go over to what we've got for tonight's sides and totals in tonight's game against Buffalo. The Maple Leafs are actually favored somehow. Minus 115 against the Sabres tonight. Minus 105 for Buffalo in this one. A total in tonight's game between the two is currently sitting at 6.5. The under for this, 6.5 plus 100. The over minus 120. This is kind of the direction we're going to go. I would have liked Buffalo on the money line at plus money, but we're not going to get it. So what we are going to do is go to the main tab. You're going to click alternative puck line 2-way, and we're going to go Buffalo Sabres minus 1.5. Sabres minus 1.5 is tonight's best bet. A half unit on that one, $50 will profit you. $102.5 will bring us 1 unit back in, just over 1 unit on tonight. So we're going half unit on Sabres puck line minus 1.5. Genuinely, like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I don't believe in this team to win tonight. I don't believe in them to show up. I don't believe in them to have an effort. I think the Sabres are a good team. I think they can come in here tonight. They can stomp on the Leafs' throats, and they can end their season more or less with the win tonight and a win in reg. And I don't see a way where the Leafs have enough stones in them to step up and fight back against Buffalo outside of like Laughton, Ekman-Larsson. I don't even know. That's pretty much where Steven Lorentz, like outside of those, Matthew Nyes, John Tavares, maybe outside of that, like it's pretty grim for what this team can do. So Sabres minus 1.5 plus 205. I would genuinely even look outside of that and maybe even start to consider, depending on how much plus money you can get, minus 2.5, minus 3.5, whatever you can get on the Sabres. If tonight goes sideways, this thing could be a blowout. I also look at this. If you're down 1 in the third period, you're going to pull the goalie. No way they tie this. Go down 2. If you go down 2, maybe you pull the goalie. Now you go down 3. Go down 3 with 10 minutes left. Maybe you pull the goalie. You go down 4. I don't see a world in which they push back and have any kind of fucking nuts in them to be able to fight their way back. So it's Sabres, and it's Sabres only, because I don't think this pathetic team has it in them to win. I don't think they're built well enough. I don't think they're coached well enough. And I don't think the guys in the room have enough character to fucking find a way to show up here tonight and beat the Buffalo Sabres. That's all for today's game preview. Agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Let's hear it from everybody in Leafs Nation. I will be back following tonight's game, joined by Jay Rosehill, the one and only Jay Rosehill, to break everything down in Game 53 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys tonight. Until then, keep believing, I guess. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.